Welcome back to What's the 411 News, where we bring you news observation, interpretation, and news commentary from an FBA and BGR perspective. Let's get it. Welcome back, everybody. What's going on? Welcome back to What's the 411 News. And you guys see it on the screen, man. Either this is a smoke screen or the last report we did on this Leonel Moreno has exposed some things, and then there was no choice but to let the cat out the bag, if you will. All right. So now, after we did our report just the day before, now all of a sudden, Moreno is on the run for violating an alternatives detention program. All right. So we're going to get right into it, man. We're going to get right into it, as you guys can see on the screen. All right. Leonel Moreno, the illegal alien influencer, encouraging others to invade U.S. and squat at homes, invade American homes, is now on the run from authorities. All right. So the migrant influencer / illegal alien encouraging others to invade the U.S. and squat at the homes of citizens skipped out on authorities shortly after arriving in the country, and is on the run from immigration officials. Venezuelan national Leonel Moreno crossed the southern border illegally in April of 2022. Y'all hear this, ladies and gentlemen? April of 2022 at Eagle Pass, Texas, and was enrolled in the Alternatives Detention program, which allows federal authorities to track migrants using ankle monitors or other technology. However, Moreno didn't follow the rules and is now listed as an quote-unquote absconder from the program, according to internal Immigration and Customs Enforcement documents seen by a news source. So this was kept secret since 2022 that this guy was supposedly on the run and was in an alternatives detention program. So Biden and ICE, you're working together to hide folks? I thought ICE, you wasn't about that life. I thought you was about getting folks out the paint when they violate off the top. But it looks like they just let him run around and run ragged, get on TikTok, brag about how he's taking over people's homes, right? And how his compadres can do the same, how his African friends and his other illegal alien friends can do the same. So this was like kept a secret. Now, I wonder, did we expose something when we just did the report on him on TikTok, and it left no choice but to reveal this information here? Is it a smoke screen, or is it the real thing? Did we expose something and now there's no choice but to let the cat out the bag? I wonder. Moreno, who claims in his videos that he, his wife, and daughter receive $350 a week from the federal government, appears to be hiding in plain sight, even posting a video in front of a police car from Gahana, a suburb of Columbus, Ohio. Gahanna police told a news source, that they are aware of the videos, but added, to date, our agency has had no contact with this individual and we are unaware of his location. Man, either we exposed something and somebody caught wind of this, or this is all a fake, just to throw everybody off and take them away from other news that's going on. If you know what I mean, right? So Moreno was originally released into the U.S. on parole due to a lack of space in detention facilities. So he was allowed to be released into the U.S. on parole because there were no spaces in the detention facilities. Why was this hidden? This has previously meant migrants, illegal aliens, haven't been fully interviewed and vetted. No kidding. You kidding me? No. They haven't been interviewed or vetted? Wow. What? That's such a surprise, isn't it? Again, this has previously meant that these illegal aliens haven't been fully interviewed and vetted by authorities, which usually takes around 3 days before being let into the U.S. John Fabricatore, I think that's how you pronounce it, a former ICE field office director for the agency in Denver, told a news source that the Biden administration's reliance on alternative detention, which currently includes over 1 million people, is nothing short of a failure. All right. We have witnessed yet another individual who was allowed entry into the U.S. under the ATD, the Alternative to Detention program, only to abscond and make TikTok videos explaining how to break the law. The question stands, how many thousands more are out there unaccounted for after fleeing this program? Said Fabricatore, who is running the Represent Colorado 6th District. Moreno has been seen living in Columbus. His listed point of contact in the U.S. was Catholic Charities in Miami, according to ICE documents. ICE in Miami mailed Moreno an immigration court date, right? Immigration court date in November 2022 after he never appeared in person, according to sources. The Biden administration markets these policies as solutions. The Biden administration markets these policies as solutions, but in reality, it's merely a smokescreen obscuring the chaos and failures at the border. We should demand transparency of this program and not continue to let this administration compromise the safety and integrity of our nation's borders, Fabricatore added. Moreno has become a TikTok influencer, encouraging fellow Venezuelans, don't forget the Africans too, to squat in the homes of U.S. citizens and calling President Biden me papi, which is my father or my daddy or my papa in English. Wow. I'm going to read that one again. Moreno has become a TikTok influencer, encouraging fellow Venezuelans, and I'm going to add his friendly African friends, to squat in the homes of U.S. citizens. Notice they ain't talking too much about the Africans. They letting that slide. They letting the ones who admitted that 7 of them they was able to get 7 more homes in our last report. That's interesting. But Moreno has become a TikTok influencer, encouraging fellow Venezuelans to squat in the homes of U.S. citizens and calling President Biden mi papi. Moreno also Moreno also frequently flaunts supplies purchased using food stamps. He can also be seen on his Instagram waving a Social Security card while lying in bed with his baby. On social media, he frequently boasts of his earnings from begging for cash, claiming he makes roughly $1,000 a day. I don't like to work, he tells followers. Boys in the U.S., he says, I don't like to work when he tells his followers on Instagram, I guess in TikTok too. Boys in the U.S., there are a million tricks, a million things to do, he says, as he outlines how to live effectively for free in a new country. And this is Biden's people, right? That's like I mentioned before. So this is Biden's people that he says are going to come to this country and really bring up the country. They're really going to make the country a lot better, right? He doesn't acknowledge foundational Black Americans who actually built this country because it's not an immigrant country. But Biden has been going around saying this is a country of immigrants, as if this immigrants was here all along and they was doing all the work here, which is a lie, right? And I mentioned that Trump says exactly the opposite. He says you're going to bring a bunch of criminals over here by leaving that border open. They're gonna bring drugs over here. I think Trump also mentioned something about cartel people coming over here, right? And he acknowledges that foundational Black Americans were the ones that built this country. Built this nation is the word he used. Black Americans built this nation. Interesting, right? So again, he says, I guess in one of his video posts or his, something he posted on social media, I don't like to work, he tells his followers. Boys, in the US, there are a million tricks, a million things to do, he says, as he outlines how to live effectively for free in a new country. I've concluded that the American dream is real, he said in a separate post, adding that he has lived for more than a year in the US and never had to work. But people keep saying Black Americans are lazy. But I mentioned before, this is the culture, this is their culture. This is how they behave, right? This is how they act. Right, Biden? These are your besties, Biden, right? These are your besties. This is how they act. Right? Ain't that right, Biden? These are Biden's besties. Biden's besties are supposed to be the cream of the crop. They're going to just take this country up to the top. But this guy said, you don't like the work. And a bunch of these clowns like him been going around saying how lazy Black Americans are. Everybody around the world that comes to this country that my ancestors built, everybody comes to this country saying Black Americans are lazy. But one of Biden's besties said it in a post, right? He said he never had to work since he been here. He said he don't like to work. He don't like to work. He has concluded that the American dream is real and said that he has lived for more than a year in the US and never had to work. This is food of the best quality that they just give you. Hey, you could thank foundational Black Americans for that, Moreno. That we giving you that quality food. It's the best. Subject has been on national news for being viral on TikTok encouraging illegal immigration. ICE documents obtained by a news source state that Moreno also claims, Child Services is investigating him for using his baby daughter in posts about scamming and begging. Imagine that. Man, he's going that low with it. However, that too appeared to be a scam, as Guyana police said they were not aware of any investigation involving this individual and children's services. Ain't it kind of interesting that they saying and they know that he's in Columbus, or they got some idea about him, but nobody's really went out to try to find him, and they don't know where he is, but he's in Columbus, Ohio, huh? Interesting. Moreno claims he traversed 12 countries to reach the U.S. and tried to seek asylum in Canada last year alongside his wife, but ultimately came to America because he didn't get free handouts up north. Oh, free handouts, huh? Isn't that what they be telling Black Americans? Stop asking for handouts. When we say we want them reparations, which is something that is owed, it's not a handout. It is owed for helping build this country and blowing this country up to the trillions of dollars and try to be the superpower and all of that stuff. We built that. Our ancestors made the U.S. what it is, or what it was, until other people tore it down. And then Biden is allowing his besties to tear it down some more. But this guy here says, man, he couldn't go to Canada because they just wasn't giving out free handouts up north. But here in America, man, you lazy Black Americans, I can get the free handouts all the time. Interesting, ain't it? Crazy, man. They didn't give us the hotel they promised, he said in a video posted to his Instagram account last year. They gave us a month and then kicked us out and didn't give us the papers they promised. They didn't give us a job and didn't give us asylum. I guess he's referring to Canada. Okay. After his wife gave birth, Moreno shared from the hospital that the couple didn't pay anything to have their daughter, thanking Papa Biden for paying. He thanked his papa. He thanked Papa Biden for paying for his daughter being birthed in the hospital. He thanked Papa Biden, his poppy, his bestie, Biden. Hey, thanks, Biden. He thanked Biden for paying for everything for his daughter being birthed. So, Biden, this is your people, this is your besties that you brag about, and that they're going to be such pillars to society. And interesting. Really interesting. These are the people that you're gonna put on top of everybody else, and definitely on top of over Black Americans. You never acknowledge what Black Americans done for this country, the inventions that our ancestors created that are still being used to this day. Roughly 85% of the inventions created by foundational Black Americans still being used today. Our culture that Busta Rhymes said we don't have, this culture that we do have, and people are aware of this all over the world, all over the globe, and they follow our culture and they try to imitate and emulate our culture. Biden, man, these are the best you can put out. Wow, that's crazy. The Venezuelan migrant also instructs followers on how to carry out scams, such as claiming abandoned vehicles to sell for scrap and giving tips on how to return clothes that have been worn. Wow, this is one of the top tier people, huh, Biden? This is what you brought over here? Top level. You got top level folks coming over here, huh? I'm going to read that again. The Venezuelan illegal alien also instructs followers on how to carry out scams, such as claiming abandoned vehicles to sell for scrap and giving tips on how to return clothes that have been worn. He also told his followers to pretend they're injured by making a leg cast with plastic and Velcro. Wow. So you allowed a culture of people who have a culture of scamming, just like they say a lot of people in Nigeria scam. So you allowing scammers to come over here to pretend like they have an injury by making a leg cast out of plastic and Velcro. Wow. Work is for slaves, boys. This is what he said. Work is for slaves. Remember that work is for slaves. Where have you seen a millionaire work? Interesting. Don't humiliate yourself. You have to be creative to ask for money, he said. Oh, do you? Well, I can say one thing, if this is his actual words here. I've heard that saying a lot of times, work is for slaves, slaves do work, something along those lines. And he just seemed to get it real quick. He seemed to get the picture real quick. And he's knowing how to work the system real easy. And he's getting away with it pretty easy. It doesn't seem like, from all I read, like they're really not, they mentioned he's on the run. I don't know. Did we expose something on our last report, letting it be seen? And now they had no choice to kind of, hey, hey, we want to tell you that he was on the run since 2022. Well, my question is, why wasn't it mentioned? Why did it have to take New Black Media to expose what he was talking about with how to get the homes, how to get American houses? Then all of a sudden it kind of pushed the lamestream media to kind of push out there, hey, we forgot to tell y'all something. Man, y'all guys let me know what you think, man. And then the scams he's talking about, put your leg and make a fake leg cast out of plastic and Velcro. Slave ain't the way to go. Millionaires don't, they don't slave around like that. We got a million tricks we can use. We got a million scams we can do. Right? You guys let us know what you think, man. The scamming don't stop. And again, I say, are you going to vote for Biden again? I want everybody to share this news report. Everybody, share it all around the world. Black Americans, I'm going to ask you again. Are you going to vote for Biden again? Because I think what's going to happen is if he does win and it's found out that some of you family members or whatever voted for him, I think a lot of people are going to get called out on social media this time around if that's what ends up happening. So a lot of family members are going to get embarrassed. And especially if things get worse for Black Americans after, should he win? I'm not even claiming he's going to win, but should he win and things get worse, a lot of family members going to get embarrassed. I don't think y'all don't like that too well. There's already families divided over things like this because one side don't want to look and see what's really going on. Even after we reporting it and showing you what's going on, everybody wants to do this. I don't see that. I can't believe it. I don't think that's happening. I'm going to vote for Biden because Trump, he's a racist. When New Black Media already showed you how Biden is even racist or even more racist than Trump. So they both racist. We've reported some things here. Because Biden got a habit of calling people boy. And it gets brushed off as, oh, he's just old. And, oh, that's just Joe. Really? That's just Joe, huh? All right, ladies and gentlemen. November 2024. What's your next move? I appreciate y'all for coming in, man. Support New Black Media. All right. Support New Black Media, and you can do so by subscribing to this channel. And our other platforms, we are on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. I don't think we're on Instagram. We probably should get an Instagram page now that it's possible to go live on Instagram now from another source outside of using their native app. And we might be on TikTok. Got to look back into that. I believe we are. And fan base as well. Y'all guys go to fan base because we're gonna have some exclusive content that we might not be able to report on the YouTubes and the Facebooks because you know how soft they are when it comes to certain content. They don't want you to know certain things, but other platforms like fan base is a lot, and Twitter sometimes is a lot more open with allowing you put on there some real truth and not wanting to censor you. So you guys let us know what you think, man. We appreciate y'all. This is What's the 411 News. All right. And we out of here. Peace. Welcome back to What's the 411 News, where we bring you news observation, interpretation, and news commentary from an FBA and BGR perspective. Let's get it.